Hello, so today we're going to start a Let's Play for Power Dolls. This is a 1994 strategy game. It's a bit like Steel Panthers if you've ever played that. Similar sort of hexagonal battlefield, but in this you control a team of mechs rather than an army. It's a bit cheesy, the intro especially is a bit cheesy, it's not that well translated. Game itself is Japanese, has an anime visual style to it. At least with the characters. But yeah, let's get into it. As I say, forewarning, the intro is very cheesy.
Nova Earth was a beautiful planet, the first successful Earth colony. Now it's just a wasteland, entire cities gone, vaporized by neutron blasts. Nothing to identify, nothing to bury, nothing to cry over. There was no warning before the invasion. Bodies lay strewn. Women and children, their blood-curdling screams helpless to the plasma fire ripping through their flesh. Many preach the virtues of progress and science. What good comes from this when entire civilizations are destroyed in an instant? 10 miles deep below the carnage and bloodshed of Nova Earth lies hidden a military base. Manned by an elite paramilitary brigade, the entire force is composed of women. Armed with next-generation cyber technology and firepower, the Power Dolls will rise through the ashes and administer justice.
Oh man, yeah, so that intro is pretty bad. It's really cheesy, but the game itself is really solid. It's like a really good strategy game, and it's quite difficult. You get a lot of options. You have a range of mechs you can pick from, and they're... I want to say realistic, but maybe that's a stretch, but like they're appropriate. Like they feel like real machines, real war machines. Each has a role in your force. You also have a range of weapons you can pick from. But let's go over this screen. I think there's 6 tabs, is it? So status and purpose are kind of the same. Status gives you the overview, and then purpose tells you what your objective is for the mission. So in this case, we're blowing up the dam, and that's why, so we can delay the enemy. So if we blow up the dam, that'll flood this area, and if you hit detail plan, that will explain what we need to do, how we're going to be doing it. So in this plan, we have 2 squads. They're flowing in quite quickly. We also have artillery support, which is the first armoured, I think it was called. And then we have fighter aircraft for support, if we have any units left. We can change plans, I'll show you that in a second. Enemy strength just tells us what we'll be fighting. I think a division is 3 battalions, I want to say. I think there's 5 units per battalion, so 5 tanks or 5 APCs or whatever. And I think each red block is a battalion. Not entirely sure though. Yeah, so 9 battalions is it? No planes we have to fight though. Ally strength just tells you how many reinforcements you have, or how much support I should say. You don't really get reinforcements. Like some missions you do get some of your dolls drop in later, even if you don't assign them to teams. But generally speaking, ally strength just refers to like whether or not you'll get extra artillery units or extra air force units. So reinforcements probably isn't the best word, but yeah. Plan selection will allow us to pick from the plans that are available. Usually, well, most missions I think have at least 2 plans. There are some that just have 1 plan. Depends on how desperate the mission is, I think. And then there's at least one mission with 4 plans. Typically speaking though, the different plans don't make a whole lot of difference. It's usually just a timing thing, like in this case. Yeah, so in the first plan, plan A, we just hit the enemy and we hit them as soon as possible and blow up the dam as soon as possible. In the second plan, we let the enemy reach the dam first and then go in and blow it up, which will just affect where the units are placed and how they're placed on the map. I guess it's good if you just want to like landing a mission and just drop artillery everywhere to wipe out the enemy, but I usually just go with A. So this is the screen where we'll be organising our forces before the mission. So with each mission, you'll get to decide, well, I mean the game sets out which unit groups you have available. So for example, in some missions you have you can drop 3 landing parties. In this one we can only drop 2 at max, and you can have 2 artillery units possibly in some missions, and up to 4 air wings, though I don't think you'd ever actually need 4 air wings in a mission. Usually speaking though, if you've got multiple slots, it's more to do with the fact that different units have different timings in a mission. So for example, if you want to land a squad first, and then say after like 30 minutes or 40 minutes you need to land a second squad, typically that's why you'll have a second team available. Though in this case I think they can land at the same time. Similar with artillery and similar with air wings, because I mean I think you can put as many fighter pilots or fighters in an air wing as you like. It's just usually, yeah, so there's a 45-minute delay. It's just that usually you want to spread out your air support so it doesn't all come in at once, if that makes sense. I'll probably do a lot of this off screen, but I'll just go through the basics so it all makes sense. So what I'll be doing, I'll be just taking 1 squad of 6, because I think it's a bit much to have multiple squads. You don't really need it for this mission. And we'll have 2 units of artillery. So I'll show off the mechs first. So these are our power dolls. They're equipped with either power loaders, which is the mechs, or artillery units, which is just basically missile artillery. You don't get any like howitzer artillery or gun artillery of any kind. It's all just missiles. It's either mechs or missile launching trucks basically. I'll show off the mechs there. So at the moment she's equipped with a recon mech. So basically the way the game works is when you do engage the enemy, when you drop into a mission, you need to be able to see the enemy to shoot them, though you can do reaction fire with stuff like the submachine gun. So to be able to see them, you need to be able to scan for them. So you do get passive scanning, like units just react to something that comes into your line of sight, but most of the time, because we'll be actively trying to hunt down an objective, we'll be using active scanning. So with that, different units have different scanning ranges and also different scanning powers. This can be affected by items you're carrying. So in this case, she's piloting a recon unit, but she's also carrying a scanning unit to extend her scanning range. So if we look here, scanning range 11, scanning power 4. If we remove that, those figures should drop. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And if we switch to a different unit, yeah, there we go. So it's dropped significantly. So the main differences are the standard unit, the default mech, has 4 slots. I think it also has better defense, at least compared to the recon unit, not compared to the assault units. at least the first kind of recon unit doesn't have any shoulder slots. It just has 2 arm slots, and then, as I say, the default unit, the standard unit I guess would be a better way to describe it, has 4 weapon slots, so 2 shoulder slots and 2 hand slots, and then you have the assault units, which again just have 2 hand slots and no shoulder slots. Yeah, but these units are much more durable. I don't tend to use them anymore when I play through. I think initially it's good to use them because you can use them to block your other units, but nowadays when I do play the game, I just have everybody either in a recon unit or in a standard power loader, because it's better to have more weapons basically a lot of the time. So in terms of weapons, we do get a range of weapons. The assault rifles are quite long range. They also have a lot of ammo, but they're not too good at doing damage. You can get lucky shots and critical hits, but generally speaking they're more of a backup weapon, just because of how much ammo they have and how little damage they usually do. Grenade launchers are pretty decent. They're somewhat inaccurate, especially if a unit is in cover, but they do a lot of damage. They also do a circle of damage. They're area of effect weapons, so they'll do a circle of damage around wherever you target, which can be useful. And you can also blind fire them, which is good when an enemy is behind cover. We've got other weapons like the Gatling guns, okay, which are good for reaction fire. Worth noting as well, we do have submachine guns, but generally speaking the submachine guns are pretty crap. I've never really used them after like my first mission or two when I started looking at guides for the game, just because of how poorly they function, or at least seem to function. But like only a few weapons can do reaction fire, mostly the submachine guns, the Gatling guns, which you can get for arm slots as well, and I think some of the rifle guns as well, or the cannons I should call them, like this. So yeah, this is a large cannon, doesn't have much ammo, like 14 ammo, but it can do a lot of damage, and it's also quite accurate and has good range. Missiles are long range. You don't need to be able to, or you don't need a direct line of sight to be able to fire them at a unit, as long as you can see it on the map. Drew 15s are quite light. Drew 35s quite heavy. You can usually take out a standard tank or badly injure a heavy tank with one of those, though you only get 2 missiles. And you've also got rockets, which are blind fire. I don't know what an S-mine is. It basically acts like a close range heavy shotgun. You can destroy anything with that, I think, pretty much, like 95 damage. It's even more than a Drew 35, so yeah, that's very powerful. I don't know what they're supposed to be though. I don't know if I'm... Yeah, I mean it acts like a shotgun, so I presume that's what it's supposed to be, but it's I've never been able to find out exactly what it's supposed to be. And then you've also got smoke launchers, so you can discharge smoke on the map and conceal your position, which can be useful at times. So I usually like to have a range of weapons on my units. At the start of the game it's harder to do this, but as you get further into the game you do get a larger supply of weapons to choose from, which is pretty good. We'll get different types of assault rifles, grenade launchers. I was going to say Gatling guns, but I think there's only one type of Gatling gun in this one, though you can have it on either an arm slot or a shoulder slot. So there's 2 types in that respect. So I'll probably do a lot of this off screen actually. but we'll just go for the bit. Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Yeah, we're going to give her an artillery piece to use. So this is the artillery unit, basically a missile launcher. We've got two types of weapons for the missile launchers. So the R250 and the R400. The 250 is a larger radius weapon, so it has a big area of effect, but it does less damage, and you've only got 4 per slot. The R400 meanwhile has 8 capacity, does a lot more damage. I think it's just basically twice the damage, but it's a lot smaller area of effect for the weapon. I usually try to take a balance of the two, so I'll take one R250 and then 2 R400s. Though I have to admit I usually cheat with the artillery, so I usually let the enemy advance and then just reload, or save, let the enemy advance and then reload, and then just fire on wherever they were headed to. Which probably I shouldn't do, but then this game is a bit nuts at times. Oh, and the aircraft as well. Yeah. So we've got 3 types of aircraft. We've got the pilots down here. We've only got 3 at the moment. You can tell them from the colours. So these are our ground pilots and these are our aircraft pilots. So you've got 2 types of aircraft, or 2 categories of aircraft. You've got the attack aircraft and then you've got the transports. There's only 2 transports in the game. C556, which can carry 6, or has a carry load of 6. Then the AC-15, which has a carry load of 3. So each mech is 1 for the carry load, and each artillery piece is 3 for the carry load. So the AC-15 can carry 1 artillery piece or 3 mechs, and the C-55-6 can carry 6 mechs or 2 artillery pieces. But the C-55-6 is a lot less durable than the AC-15. So I think effectiveness is the armour, or it says effectiveness here. And then you have the other category of aircraft is just fighter aircraft. The default one is the F-22-1. I'm not really sure what the difference between the different aircraft is though, or the different fighter aircraft anyway, because like you only have a few air engagements in the game. You don't actually control them, by the way, before you get excited. You only get a few aircraft engagements in the game, and as far as I can tell it doesn't matter which aircraft you use as long as you've got the right missiles equipped. And similar to the artillery pieces, this is our F-22-1. Similar to the artillery pieces, you have the FK-20 bomb, which has a large radius but limited damage, and then the MK-50, which does a lot more damage but a smaller blast radius. Typically air wings aren't as useful as ground artillery though. There's usually quite a delay to get the aircraft into the field, and they can also be targeted by the enemy when they do a flyby, which is a bit weird because in real life modern fighter aircraft fly so high, or at least the high-end ones, they fly so high that they can't be targeted by ground fire usually. And this is set in the future, so that's a bit bizarre, but yeah. Probably do the rest of the configuration off screen if I'm honest. But yeah, this is broadly what we're going to go with. I need to change the weapons though and change the mechs.